and welcome to our show, Time with a Gardener. My name is Dr. Kwekuche Aka, and I am the gardener. This show is actually brought to you by Garden for All. Garden for All is a non-profit organization with an aim. So Garden for All has the objective of ensuring that has access to safe food. And so we try as much as possible to come your way every week with this show, and then also discuss very important topic. We have our Facebook page, which is Home Gardening Ghana, Home Gardening Ghana. And so we have more than 300,000 members. When you go to Facebook, look for this logo, and then join. You will meet a lot of gardeners, experienced gardeners, and then who are all available to share ideas. And so if you want to start a garden, you will not be left behind. You will get people to help you. I am always available to give assistance. And so if you have any issue, just share in the comment section, or you can post it on the Facebook page, and then we will attend to you. We also have our YouTube channel, which we are screening live. You can always visit this channel and then watch some of the videos and also be encouraged. Garden for All always try as much as possible to educate people about the importance of gardening. We provide training, free training. We also train young ones, university students, to go out there to serve as ambassadors and then also help people in their community. We also help establishing community gardens and then school gardens. And so we are open for partnership from all over the world. Any organization, individuals that want to partner with Garden for All, we are ready to work together. It is a registered non-profit organization, and so we are always open for partnership. You can also support us through donations. Your donation will go specifically to the establishment of a garden for a home. And so as part of our project, we identify a home that needs garden. We establish garden, plant very important plants in there, and then guide them. And so this is what we do as an organization. My name is Dr. Kwekuche Aka. I am the gardener. Yeah, so last week we talked about some important plants to use for tea. They are very important plants that we can consider and then use for tea. But we normally neglect them. And so in Africa, and then let me use Ghana specifically, we always think about the food crops, and then neglect the other plants that will also serve very important benefit to us. And so there are a lot of herbs that we actually and deliberately need to grow in our garden. And so last week we talked about some of these plants that you can grow in your garden and then use for tea. And then again, after introducing you to the common types that we can find. We also talked about one important one, that is the Lepia alba. So the Lepia alba is a very important garden plant. This is how it looks like. And what you have to note is that this particular plant looks similar to the Lantana camara. The Lantana camara has thorns on it, but the flower looks the same, the leaf look the same. But the Lantana camara doesn't have thorns, and it doesn't have that aromatic smell that the Lepia alba has. So the Lepia alba has a very strong lemon scent, like the lemongrass, and it is even stronger than the lemongrass. So it is a very important plant that you can use for tea, and it is not a native to Africa. It is from South America, but it is very, very common, and it can do very well in almost every part. And so it does very well in Africa. And so you don't need the propagation. You just pick a branch, just a small, when you even pick this branch and then you put it in the soil, it will germinate for you. One thing about it, as it spreads, when any part of the branch touches the soil, it will root. And so it is very easy to propagate. And so you don't need so much skills to grow it. And so it's one particular plant that you can always grow in your garden. And so a lot of research has been done about it. And so it has a lot of properties. It is used for cold. It's had for digestive problems, for also inflammations, and then respiratory problems. So for common cold, cough, this plant, you can use it. And so you can easily pick some of the leaves and then boil and then drink, or you can dry it. It's not difficult to dry. When you even put it under shade, under normal temperature, it will dry within 3 days. It will be crispy, and then you can even make it a powder. And then a powder, you can pick a tablespoon into a glass of water, warm water, and then you drink as your tea. So it's very important. And so it also has a very important properties of it being used to repel mosquitoes. So you can pick some of the leaves and then you crush it, and then you just use it, smell it around you, on your hand. You can just smell it. It helps to repel mosquitoes, so you may not have mosquito bites. So that is very important. So we talked about this particular plant, you growing it in your garden and then using it as tea. We also talked about the basil. The basil is also very important. We have very nice smell. We have different types of basil. The sweet basil, the lemon, the Thai basil, all these types are there. And depending on the country that you find yourself, there are native types that you find around you. There are native types that you can find around you. And so this type is a native to Ghana. It has a very small, strong smell, like the mountain mint. Mountain mint in the US. I think the smell is as strong as the mountain mint. And so this is a native to Ghana. And so you can find it around. The smell is very strong. And so you can also pick it and then dry the leaves and then prepare the powder out of it and use it for tea. It has also a lot of medicinal properties, and we will talk about it specifically in other episode. And so this is it. And then we also have the oregano. The oregano, we have different types of oregano. We have the Mexican oregano, the Cuban types, and so this has variegation around the edges. It's a type of oregano. We have different types, and it's also another plant that you can grow in your garden. And beside the properties of this plant repelling the pests that you have in your garden, it helps to repel most of the pests, the garden pests, the white flies, the aphids, the mealybugs, and then other very important pests, garden pests. They will help you to manage them, but you can also use them for tea, and then it helps to control your illnesses. So it's very important that you consider this particular plant. And then another very important plant is the scent leaf. The scent leaf also has a very strong smell, and locally in Ghana it is very important. It's a very important medicine, and even it is used in children. When children are sick, we mostly use it on them. And then again, anytime you have any wound, there's a cut, we use it. So it also has a lot of antimicrobial properties, and so you just pick it and then use it as tea. So we also talk more about this particular plant, the scent leaf, in other episode. And so we also have another plant, the Justicia koenigii. The Justicia koenigii. This is the unique part. This is the flower. That is how it is. This is how the leaves also looks like. And this plant is well used in Ghana. Locally, we call it Yesu Moja. Yesu Moja means the blood of Jesus Christ. When you boil it, when you even pick a few of the leaves and then you boil it for some few minutes, the water will turn red. The water will turn red, and so it is mostly used as a blood tonic when anybody has blood shortage. A person is deficient in blood, they boil it and then you drink. So it's a very important garden plant. It does very well. You can grow it in your garden. Look for it, and then we will talk more about it, how you can grow it in your garden. Today we are going to talk about a very important plant. Very important plant. And that particular plant, the name, when you mention it, it gets confused. And that is the curry plant. Sorry. The curry. We call it the curry leaf. We have other plants that is also referred to as the curry. And so this one is the curry. Scientifically, the Morea koenigii. The Morea koenigii, that's the scientific name. And so, or some may even refer to the Bergera koenigii. It's a very important plant. It's a native to India and very important as medicine, and then also as a pest control agent. It looks similar to neem, the neem plant, and then also has a very important properties as used in managing garden pests, same as the neem. Actually, to me, it's even more effective than the neem because we've been using the neem more often. The curry leaf plant also has a very important pesticidal properties, and then you can use it in controlling the aphids, you can use it in controlling the white flies, you can use it in controlling the mealybugs, and then other very important garden plants. So when you have the plant, hardly would you see some of these pests, garden pests, attacking it. But besides the importance of this particular plant in managing garden pests. It can also be used for tea. And so it's also used in traditional medicine in India for digestive problems, and also for skin problem. When you have any skin infection, you can also use it in controlling them. And then also it has antimicrobial properties, and more importantly, it has been researched and it has been reported to be used in controlling blood sugar. So very important in managing diabetes. So you can read more about it and then also get to know more about the properties of this particular plant. And it does very well in our tropical environment in Ghana and then in other African countries. And so it's very easy to propagate. You can use the cuttings and then or the seeds. The seeds, when you even have the plant, the seed falls and then it germinates. So it's not difficult to grow this particular plant, but it is so important to us, and so you have to consider this particular plant. Those of you who want to grow it, it doesn't grow as a very big tree, it's a shrub, so you can also consider growing it. And so if you want seedlings, you can reach out to us. We can give you the seeds and then you can grow, or we can give you, we have already potted these, we can already give you the potted plant and then you can grow. But know that it is very important plant, and then you can use it in treating a lot of illnesses. And so you consider growing it in your garden. And so there are a lot of garden plants that we have to consider growing. And so we have mentioned some of them. And then we have to know that besides growing the food crops, we also have to grow certain plants and then use them for tea. You can dry the leaves and then prepare the powder, grind them into powder, and then keep them and then use them as and when you want to use them in your tea. So it's not difficult to prepare tea out of, or you can easily use the fresh leaves. You pick the fresh leaves and then you boil it and then you drink it as your tea. So it's very important that we read more about these garden plants and then also consider growing them. So I'll be bringing your way more tips, more examples of garden plants that we can use in a garden, in our tea. One other has to do with the lemongrass. The lemongrass, when you have the Lepia alba and the lemongrass, they smell the same, similar. The Lepia alba has a very strong smell than the lemongrass, but the smell is the same, almost the same. And so don't confuse them. Sometimes when you have the Lepia alba tea, you may think that it is a lemongrass tea. So the lemongrass is also one other plant that you can. So those of you who are lovers of the the lemongrass, consider growing the Lepia alba also in your garden. And so let's take note of these important garden plants. And so we have talked about it. If you have any question, you can share in the comment section, and then I will answer. Today, a lot of people shared various posts on the page, our Facebook page, and then having challenges in their garden. And one of them shared a picture of a garden eggs or an eggplant with this symptom. And so he was asking what the problem was and what to do in managing this particular plant. So this is a leaf of a garden eggplant or an eggplant. And so whenever you see this symptom, you will also find a similar symptom on, this is an okra okra plant, and so you see that same kind of symptom on the okra leaf. And then you look at the very bigger, this is a bigger okra leaf, and so you can also find a similar symptom on the okra leaf as well. So whenever you have a similar symptom on any of your garden plant, what you should know is that you are having a problem with nutrition, soil nutrition. It means your soil is deficient in nutrient, nitrogen, and then sometimes magnesium. And so all that you have to do is to improve the soil nutrition. You see, one other thing that we always do is that, you see, the plant needs the nutrient at important time. And so we mostly apply the fertilizer at late times. Or sometimes when the plant is well established, then you apply. Sometimes that time you may see the symptoms already developed. And so it will correct itself in the new shoot that is coming. So it's very important that whenever you are preparing your soil for planting, you have to make sure that you improve the nutrition. If you are going organic, make sure you apply enough compost so that it becomes rich. And then even if the soil is even rich and then you don't water regularly, the plant may not be able to absorb the nutrient, and so you have the symptom also showing. So when you look at it, you can see the inner portion very green, but the edges is showing. It indicates that the soil may be rich, but because you are not watering regularly, so the plant is not getting the nutrient. So make sure you water regularly, and then so that the plant can absorb the nutrient. But if you don't have, make sure you improve the nutrient with time, and then the soil will be rich, and then it will correct, and you see very green leaves. So anytime you see these uniform symptoms on your leaves, it should tell you that you have a nutrient deficiency problem. So improve the nutrition. Okra is very sensitive to nutrient. Garden eggs, same, very nutrient sensitive to nutrition, nitrogen, magnesium, very sensitive to it. And so make sure you improve the soil nutrition, and then you can have a very good yield. Yeah, so if you have any question, kindly share in the comment section, and then I will answer. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our video, and then share. Every week on Sundays at 3 p.m. we come your way with this show. So prepare your garden proper questions, share them, and then I'll answer. You can also still share pictures of your challenges in the comment section, and then I will take time to answer. And so always be prepared that we are going to be talking about garden. And so I want to encourage you to continue to enjoy your garden and then be a change maker. My name is Dr. Kwekucheyaka. I am the gardener. See you next week as we meet and then talk about gardening. Thank you, and then bye-bye for now.